morning, everyone, team. Let's start the session for today. Meanwhile, others can join parallelly. So, on Saturday and yesterday, we are having the demo sessions on Oracle Fusion HCM Cloud. And as part of the demos, we have seen in our initial first session, like we have spoke about introduction to the Oracle Fusion applications and in which year Oracle launched these products in the market and what are the different cloud deployment options that we are having in this particular technology, and also what are all the modules that we are having in the system, like what comes under the functional or what comes under the technical, and also the Fusion environment releases we spoke about it. And in yesterday's session, we have seen introduction to the Fusion application, like how the application will be delivered to the client when they buy the license from Oracle. What are the different names that we will be calling our application in real time, and how many environments that the client will get when they subscribe the license from Oracle, like production environment, test environment, dev environment, right? And also I introduce it to you the cosmetic level or the basic main home screen level features in the system. Like once we log in into the system, what are all the things that what we will be calling this area as, or what we will be having here as navigator, or some couple of functionalities here we have seen. Introduction to the application we have seen. So now in today's session, we are going to take up a new concept, that is security administration in the application team. Because when you go for any implementation project, whenever you are working in the real time, the very first configuration that we should be aware of should be security administration team. Why? Because now I logged in with my user, that is HCM underscore .jan, let's suppose, into the application team. So when I log in with the application, okay, when I log in with the application, I could able to see several functionalities here, team. I'm getting many options here, several functionalities I'm getting here. How my user is getting accessed with all these particular functionalities, how it is happening in the system. First of all, how the user account got created to me. First of all, how the user account got created to me. That also we should note. And in fact, before we starting any module configuration, you take core HR, you take absence, payroll, talent, compensation, any module configuration that you take in the system team. First and the foremost thing will be creating of implementation user accounts. We should be, what I have to say, implementation of user accounts should be created. Team. Just give me 1 second, team, because other people reaching out to me for joining. Yeah, sorry to. Let us continue. So before we starting any module configurations in the system, the very first thing that we should be aware of in the system should be how to create the user accounts in the system. Why? Because when we go for an implementation project, how the user accounts for our team will get created in the system, because client might not be creating all the user accounts. So we have to create our implementation user accounts to our team, like how the account that I'm using now, how the user accounts to our entire team should get created, or not even from the point of implementation team. In the system, whenever, let's suppose we hand over the application to the end users, we implemented everything. Whenever the hiring happening in the system, whenever you are hiring the new employees in the organization in day-to-day life, how the user accounts for the employees will get created. That topic we are going to see as part of the security administration. In Fusion application, when we talk about security or security administration, we have to talk about two concepts. One is user account management and other one is role management. In user account management, we are going to see how to create the user accounts in the system for the employees. Okay. And in the role management, we are going to see how the access to that particular user account being provisioned. In Fusion application team, we have a concept called RBAC. RBAC stands for roles based access control. Roles based access control. When you create a user account team, creating the user account is not sufficient. For that user, we have to assign specific roles. Then only that user will get access to the particular functionalities in the system. So in e-business suite, we used to have the concept of adding responsibility to the user. But here there is no such concept of responsibility as far as security is concerned. In Fusion, Oracle replaced responsibility concept with RBAC. With RBAC, we have to create the user account and we have to assign the respective roles what the user has to be given in order to get access to the screens team. So first we are going to start our topic with security administration. So as part of that, I will start with user account management team. How to create the user account in the system. So when you talk about user account creation team, typically we have two ways in the application the user accounts will get created. One is manual. Okay, one is manual option and the other one is automatic option. We have two ways in the application to create the user account. What is this automatic and what is this manual team? See, as a HR admin in the system, if you want to create a user account to the employee, you can able to create the user account team. But already in the system, there is an automatic option availability. What is that? If you are hiring an employee in the system team, basically HR will go to this functional area, my client group. They will go to new person here. In order to hire an employee, I'm talking about team. They will go to my client group, new person, and they will go to hire an employee task, and they will initiate the hiring of an employee team. So when a HR hiring the new employee in the system, here, if I go to hire an employee, I will give all the details, whatever is required. I will complete all the respective information. And finally, I will click on submit. So the new employee record will get created team. So whenever we hiring an employee in the system, whenever we hiring the employee in the system, automatically for all the new employees, the user accounts will be created by application itself. Take it as granted. Okay, take it as thumb rule team. Whenever you are hiring the employee in the system, automatically system will generate the user accounts for that newly hiring employee. HR no need to manually create the user accounts after hiring the record. Along with the hiring only, application automatically will create the user account. This is one way. And we have manual way of creating the user accounts also. You can ask me, Kumar, if automatic is there, why manual option is required? See, at times when hiring happening team, whatever the required information for generating the user account, basically we are going to configure the user account generation rules. Something like what is the username system should take up, first name dot last name of the employee, or employee email ID, or employee work person number, nothing but employee number that should be taken as user ID. We are going to define that rules team in the system. Let's assume, I will tell you with a scenario. Currently in the system, we configured as per our client requirement, every employee username should be the email of the employee team. Email ID of the employee should be the username. Let's suppose team, while hiring the new employee in the system, HR have not given the email address to the employee team. Basically, while hiring, we have to capture the email address, phone details, address, everything related to the employee. While hiring the employee, HR not provided the email address of the employee, and HR hired that employee in the system. Now, the username rule was every employee's email ID should be their usernames. System will create the user account if the employee have that email ID in place. But while hiring, HR not given the email ID of the employee. Then what happens, team? Employee will be hired in the system, but user account will be failed. User account, from where it will take? Email ID is not available for employee while hiring. So system will not generate the user account in this case. Any data issues, any manual errors that HR's doing while hiring the employee, then while hiring of an employee, automatic user account will not be created. HR has to manually go and create the user account team. So Oracle given both the ways. Either you can go with automatic creation of user account where system itself will generate automatically, or as a HR admin, after hiring the employee, you can manually go to the system and you can create the user account for that employee team. Not only in this scenario, let's suppose team, the implementation team, okay, we went to the client's project team. Basically, we are 10 members altogether, functional and technical team. Our team size is 10 members team. So we are not the employees in the client's organization. We are just the implementation consultants or partners who are going to work on the client's product. So we will not be hired as employees in the system, but we also require the user accounts, right? Because we should start configuring the setups or the configuration, like all the core HR, absence, payroll, talent, all these modules, we have to configure in the system. Means all of our 10 members should require the user accounts, correct? So we are not the employees in the client system. Then how the user accounts will get created? So for our case team, automatic will not work out. So we have to go to manual way in the system and we have to create our user accounts. We are not employees in the system. So just user accounts we can create for ourselves in order to access to the system team. So we have both automatic and manual options in creating the user accounts team. So I will show you now how to create the user accounts manually, because this is the approach which we will take up in the initial phase of implementation. To have the user accounts created to our implementation team, at least we will go in this way. How? Once you log in into the system, in the Springboard, whatever the functional areas you are looking at team, click on the right side taskbar. You will find somewhere a functional area called tools. Come to tools, click on that. Under tools, you have a sub-functional area called team security console. In the entire Fusion application, the entire security will be handled in a one single area called security console. Okay, go to security console. Just remember the name. Security administration is the topic or the submodule. Within that, security console is the functional area which we have to come on. Right? Come to security console, and then you have something, the second option called users. Click on users team, and you will land up on the user accounts. So as the HR admin, if you want to create new user account, or if you want to check any existing employees user accounts, you can able to come and you can do whatever you want here, team. Okay. Okay. Right. So come to here, user accounts team, then click on add user account. So now I'm showing you how to create the user account manually in the system. Click on add user account. Now you landed upon add user account screen team. And here, when we creating the user account, system will ask us to which person you are creating the user account. See, associated person information, and we have something called associated person type. What is this team? We will have two options here, none and worker. Means what? If you are creating only user account team, means it is not for any employee in the system, then you have to keep person type as none team. So technically speaking, when we are creating the user accounts for our implementation team, because we are not employees in the client's organization, our 10 people records will not be created as employees in the system. Correct? Just user accounts if you want. Only user accounts, not associating to any worker record or person record in the system. Then keep associated person type none and start creating the user details here team. But let's suppose in automatic option, while hiring the employee, due to some data discrepancy, for the employee user account not generated by the system. So now HR coming to manual option to user account, and HR trying to create the user account for the existing employee record in the system. Already employee hired. Now we have to create the user account. In that case, associated person type, you keep it as worker. The moment I keep worker, one more attribute will open called worker name. See now, worker name. So here I can check for which employee in the system I am going to create the user account. Click on this magnifier and search workers team. So any employees in the system without having user account, they will result here. See, when I search with John, currently in this instance, these two people are not having user accounts created team. So search that employee, select it, and then you can click on OK team. You can click on OK team. See, the details got synchronized from this employee record. Currently in this system, Mr. John Dunbar Juhu is the employee who already hired. For that employee, while hiring, user account not created because of some data discrepancy. Now, as a HR admin, he can come to security console users, search the employee for whom he want to create the user account, and he can proceed creating the user team. As I told you, if it is not for an employee, just you are planning to create a user account, you are not assigning the account to any employee record in the system. So all our implementation team accounts, who all are working on the client's project, our implementation team, we will have only user accounts in the system team because we are not employees of client organization. We will not be hired as employees team. We are there only for 6 months or 1 year for whatever the project that we came for the client. So in order to get access to our team, we will keep the person type as none and we will create our user accounts team because we are not employees, just user accounts to get access to the application to start our end-to-end implementation setups in the system for each module team. So associated person type, I'm keeping it as none. Account information, make sure while you creating, keep it as active. When account will get locked, I will tell you next 5 to 10 minutes time. By default, while you creating, keep it as active. And come to user information. In the user category, I have couple of options coming up team. But in real time, whenever you are working, you won't find this Abdul Rashid, custom category, Manjunath. These all are our students team, basically. The other batch students, 8 to 9 batch people, when they are practicing, some of them might be practicing security in this instance only. That is the reason they have created their custom user categories. But forget about all of this, what you are seeing in the list. When you are working in your client's application team, because it is a demo instance which we will use for training and practice, right? Lots of miscellaneous data you will be able to see, because once we give access to the environment to you for practicing, you will also practice with your own data. So just don't get confused with any other miscellaneous data coming up in the system team. Okay, ignore them and you proceed with whatever you want to configure. So when you are working in the client's application for the first time, you come to user account to create the user accounts for your team. In user category, by default, this default category you are going to see, this default one. You won't find any of these things. But what is this category usage? What is this default category? I will come to you. Here we have a separate topic to discuss, user categories. From here, whatever defined, that will come here. Team. We will see that what it is, ignore it. Now I'm giving first name, Trio, and last name, Tech. Already this name taken up team. Let me do one thing. Trio, and I will go with last name as a test. Okay. First name I have given Trio, last name I have given as a test team. So the moment I given first name and last name, automatically username taken up here with a combination of trio.test. What is this team? Who told that system should take the username should be first name dot last name team? That is decided in this category level. Whatever the default category under which we are creating the user account, in that user category level, we are going to configure the rules for our user account. You want username as first name dot last name, or email ID, or employee ID, or first letter of the first name or last name. That all will be decided from this user category level team. We are going to configure that. I will show you. But as of now, see how to create the user account team. So triotest@gmail.com. Let's say I'm giving like this, and then password I'm giving test@123, and confirming the password @123. So username and password details I have given team. Now just creating the user account will not serve our purpose team. If I'm creating a just blank user account, if I'm trying to sign in with this user, it will be of no use. What I have to do team, after creating the user account, as I told you, we have to assign the respective roles to that user account. Okay. Sorry. Okay. After creating the user account, we have to assign the respective roles to that user account team. So when we come to the topic of roles team, for each of the module, let's say I will take up some of the examples here team. Okay, in functional side, as of now, let's assume these are the modules we are having, correct? So for each of the functional areas in the system, Oracle by default delivers the standard roles in the system team. Like you take core HR and absence team. For these two modules, we have the roles like human resource manager or human resource specialist. Okay, the roles like this team. For core HR, absence, and for talent also, we have these two roles Oracle given. For payroll, Oracle given the roles like payroll manager or payroll administrator. Like that, we have roles available. And if you take compensation, we have something like compensation manager, then compensation, okay, administrator roles available. And if you take benefits, then you have benefits representative, okay, or benefits manager or administrator, etc. like that. If you go to OLC, we have something called learning specialist, learning manager, like that. If you go to ORC, you have hiring manager, recruiting specialist, like that. So for every module in the system or every functional area in the system, not only these things, team, you take even these components also. For every module or for every functional areas team, Oracle given certain standard rules. Means what, team? If I have to get the access to core HR, absence and talent modules, then my user account should be assigned with these roles, team. If I should access to payroll module related setups or the features in the system, then my user should be enrolled with these two roles, team. If I want compensation module access, then these are the roles available. Then benefits, then these are the roles available. So by default, when a customer buy the license from Oracle team, the standard Oracle delivered seeded roles for each of the modules or functional areas are readily available in the system team. So when we creating the user account, we have to add that respective role. What access to this user you want to provide in the system, that respective roles you have to assign in the system team. Okay. Now, within the concept of roles team, we have a couple of things. Something like we have job roles. I mean, we will call them as types of roles team. We have something called job roles. Okay. Then we have something called data roles. Then we have something called abstract roles. And then we have something called duty roles or aggregate privileges. We have different types within the role concept team, but I'm not going to take up the role management, okay, in our initial sessions team. Now in our initial session, we are going to concentrate majorly on the user account management, how to create the user account and how to assign the standard roles to the user. We are going to see in our first 1 or 2 sessions today and tomorrow. Role management topic we are going to take up separately, team, because if I have to talk about roles in detail, like which role is giving which access, in-depth analysis of each role if I have to do. Within the concept of roles, we have the concept of custom role creations also. As per the client business requirement, we should create custom roles with data restrictions, with functionality restrictions. We have customization concept team that we are going to take up once we complete our functional modules, because once you people are habituated to the application, which module is about what screens are there in what module, once you get comfortable with all the functional areas or functionalities in the system, then if I talk about roles, like which functionalities can be restricted from this particular role or what employees data we can restrict from this role, you will be in a situation to understand easily. Before knowing the application, before knowing the screens, if I talk about roles, you won't understand the concept. That is the reason in every batch, we will take up user account management first of all, and role management we will be taking up once we complete our functional modules team, when we reach out to our technical components. Okay. These all together we are going to start after the functional modules getting covered. So here again, I'm going to talk about in detail what are different types of roles available, what is a job role, data role, abstract role, and which role we are going to assign to the employees while hiring the employee in the system. And within that, we have automation also team, automatic enrollment of roles to the employee also. That all we will see at later point of time. But as of now, you should aware of how to create the user accounts in the system and how to add the roles and what is happening when we add the roles to the employee team. So here I am creating a user account. What I will do is I will add one basic role to this user team and we will check out what access is getting in the system. So like how I have listed out couple of roles in the system team. The very basic role in the system when you hiring an employee will be assigned will be employee role team. And we have something called line manager, etc. like that. These are part of abstract roles basically. Means when you hire an employee, at least that employee should have access to his own self-service. He could able to check his own personal details at least. So Oracle given one basic role called employee team. Means at least an employee will be having access to his own self records, not all other functionalities in the system. So I will try to assign that basic role and I will show you team. Now all the details, whatever is required, I have given. I will click on add role, and here I am searching with employee. Whatever the roles I listed, see team, all the roles you can see here, whatever Oracle delivered. See, if I come here, see human resource manager. Now, if you want compensation manager to check, see compensation manager. Like every role for each of the functional areas. Some of them I have listed team. I will give you the document like what are the HCM roles that we have for what modules. Every role will be available to you here. So you can assign what you want. So I'm searching with employee. So when you are practicing the security team, sometimes when you are trying to assign the role to the user you created, you will be seeing some duplication. See, when I search with employee, two results I could able to see. Something called per starting with and something starting with ORA. This is the role name and this is the role code. Whatever the role code that you see starting with ORA, that is Aura, means Oracle. They are standard Oracle delivered roles in the system, seeded ones. But as I told you, we have the concept of customizing the roles team. We can create the custom roles by copying the Oracle seeded roles. If anything code you are seeing other than starting with ORA, it means someone like you and me, when they're practicing the roles, they have duplicated it and created the custom role. So don't use them as of now, only use Aura related role. Click on add role membership. Now see team, one role I assigned to this user, the very basic role, employee role I assigned to the user team. Now click on save and close. Click on save and close. The user account created in the system team. If you want to cross check whether it is created or not, come to the same user account and search with your user account, trio.test. Correct? See team. This is your user account which you created just now. Now what I will do is, I will try to log out from my login team, because whatever the user currently I am using, this is the super user. Means for our training purpose, we have enrolled all the roles to this user team. That's why see how many functional areas you could able to get access. When I click on navigator, see how many things that my user able to see. Or even if I click on the settings and action team, many options I could able to see here also. Something like administration area, many things. Now let me sign out from my login and let us try to sign in with the new user that what we created team. What is that user team? Trio.test. And the password I am giving, whatever I have given, and then click on sign in. Now see, I will be able to log in as trio.test. See, this is a new user account which we created just now, and I logged in with that user account team. What access I could able to see? Only these 4 functional areas. As I assign the employee role, this functional area will come. Me means as an employee, he can able to check his personal details here under meeting. That's different thing. And see here, if you go to navigator, what? Only these 4 options I could able to see. Even if I come to settings and action, only limited options I could able to see. Whatever the access that basic employee role will provision to that user, only that functionalities he could able to see. If I come to tools also, nothing is available. Where is security console? Nothing. Because for every functional area, we have that respective role team. Like how we have these roles, okay? We have certain implementation roles also available team. Something like application, okay, implementation consultant. Okay, I will tell you what are these roles and what access these roles will give us. Application implementation manager, then application implementation administrator. So make sure team, whenever you creating the user accounts for our implementation team, these implementation roles also should get enrolled to that user team. Why? Because going forward, any setup in the system that you are going to configure team, you should come to settings and action. You should have that administration access team. See, I will go back with our super user login, my login, that is training user account, which I have HCM.jan. Now you observe the difference between these two user accounts. This user is having many options, but that user is having limited action. So here, once you come to settings and action team, this administration section going forward, every day we are going to come. Here, you have many options, and one important task everyone should know is this setup and maintenance team. This task, we will call it as functional setup manager. Means any module that you are going to configure, core HR, absence, payroll, talent, compensation, you have to go to the setup and maintenance. Then you will land up on the setup screen, and there you are going to search for your task and you are going to configure team. This is our FSM task. Okay. In order to get access to this administration area, your user should be enrolled with these roles. These are implementation roles team. So for all of our implementation user accounts team, these roles are mandatorily added, and on top of that, all the module related roles also will be added team. And coming to security console. Now, in order to create the new user accounts or assign the roles to the user accounts, I told you, under tools, we should go to security console. Correct. If your user requires the security console access under tools, for that also team, you are having a role called IT security manager role. For that also, you have a role called IT security manager role team. Okay. So for every functional area in the system, we have different roles available to assign. Now see, I will go to tools, security console, and I will try to add some more roles to our user account team. And let's take it out. Go to user, search your user account here, trio.test. Okay. Then click on edit. As a HR admin, if you want to do any kind of corrections, updations to the user account, you can come to user account, search that user account, what you created team. If it is employees or implementation team, whatever it is. Now you will land upon user account details team. Click on edit. So if you want to change the username, first name, last name, email, anything that you want, you can able to manipulate or update here as an admin team. Now come to the role section. Click on add role and try to add some more roles team. Like I will add human resource manager. Okay, this role I am adding team. And then human resource specialist. Okay, then I'm adding our application implementation consultant also team, like these roles, what I'm telling. Application implementation consultant. I told you pick up only Aura named one. And then application implementation manager. Okay. All the roles I am assigning team now. Application implementation administrator. Okay. And even IT security manager also I will assign team now. See, IT security manager. Because I also want to give the security console access to this user. And I also want a payroll to the employee team. So payroll administrator also I'm tagging. So whatever the roles that I'm expecting that user should have access with, all the roles I have assigned C team. Along with employee, I have added human resource manager, specialist, application implementation consultant, manager, admin, and IT security manager, payroll administrator. See, these many roles I assigned team. Now, shall we go and check whether the access to the employee got improvised in the system or not? Let me click on save and close. Okay, done. And let me sign out with my login now. And I will try to log in with this trio.test. Click on confirm. Trio.test. This is our user account which we created just now. Let me sign in team and check it out. Now see team. You can able to see the access improvised to the employee. The access improvised to the employee. Just give me a second. I think someone video got enabled. Okay. My team, my client groups, benefits, see many things. Help desk, CT. And if I go to tools, even under tools, I could able to see now security console is coming, right? See, if I go to this navigator, I could able to see many things. And if I go to this settings and action also team, my administration section came because that application implementation consultant, manager, admin roles I have tagged, right? So these things are coming up. So if I go to system, when human resource manager and specialist you added team, the my client group access you will get. This is related to core HR, absence and payroll also team. See payroll also available here. Earlier these all are not available, but how they got added to the user? Because the roles that we have tagged team. So this is what the concept of RBAC in the system. Hope you understood now. What is the concept of RBAC? Roles-based access control. In Fusion application, the security is working on a concept called roles-based access control. Whatever the roles that we are assigning to the user, accordingly, the access to that user to that particular screens will get provisioned. Now let me go back to our super user login, that is hcm.jan, that is my login. And let us see what else we can do to the user account team. Now the user account created and we are going to start using that particular account team. So what else we can do as a HR to that one? I'm going to tools, security console, and then users, and then I will search with our user team, trio.test. So here in the user accounts area team, if you know the username, you search with the username team. If you don't know his username, if you know his email, keep email and you can search with the email address also team. It will result the account related to that email. Or if you know the employee last name, search with last name. All that user accounts with that last name will get result. So you can make use of this search crawler with your respective option that you are selecting team. Anything that you can keep and you can search here. And sort by, whether you want to sort it by display name or username or email, on what basis you want to sort in the list. Let's suppose if you are getting multiple options here. I'm searching with a trio. See how many will get result. In this application, 3 accounts are there. So sort by how it should be shown in the results area. That is the one. So I will go with the trio.test hours only. Now see team, if you click on this user display name, you will be landing upon user account details team. So we have an edit option where you can able to do whatever the corrections that you want to do to the user account. So add role we have team. Auto provisioning concept we have to see when we talking about the roles. I told you, right, there is something called automatic allocation of roles to the user. Means what team? Whenever hiring happening, when the user account created to the employee, automatically the roles also you can tag to that employee. You can write some conditions. If employee is from this company, from this department, from this location, these roles should be auto tagged. Like that, at role level, you can maintain that conditions team. That concept is called as auto provisioning of roles that we are going to see in our future sessions when we're talking about the roles team. I'm not going to talk about that one. So if you want to add further more roles, you can come and click on add role and you can add whatever you want. If you don't want, you want to restrict some access to the user, whatever the roles you added, you want to remove them. Come here and click on this delete option team. IT security manager, I don't want to this person. Click on remove, yes. So the user will lose the access to that particular security console, everything, because IT security manager will remove to the user. Remove all roles. At one shot, you want to remove everything. See, every role will be deleted. See. So all roles, if you want, use this one. One by one, click on the cross icon team. So I'm not saving it because let him have the user roles assigned team. So in the edit user account, these are the things that you are going to do team. And here you have the reset password option. So employee forgot the password. He is requesting HR to reset the password and send it back. So we can have the option here team. As a HR admin, you can come to users, search that user, click on reset password, automatically generate password. If I choose and if I click on button team, the employee will receive the password reset link notification to his email. But manually I want, go to manual and here I can change the password, whatever I want, reset password, and then I can manually share him. This is your new password, use this one. And see team, whenever I'm trying to reset the password, something called password policy is coming. And simple, at least 8 characters and 1 number. Who told it in the system? The password to that employee should be in this particular at least 8 characters, 1 number. Who told that? I have some different requirement. My client is telling Kumar, I want 4 uppercase, 2 lowercase, 1 special character. But here only 8 characters and 1 number selling. Can I able to customize that? We can able to do. Not only that team. When the user account gets created team, password expiration date triggered with May 22nd, 2023. Who told that? Password should expire on May 22nd to this employee. Today I created the user account. Today is February 21st. Okay. March, April, May. May 22nd, exactly 90th day or 91st day, password is expiring. See, expiration date trigger. Who told? Every 90 days password should expire to the user account. From where it is coming? This password expiration date, or when we resetting the password policy, or when we creating the new user account, the moment I given, okay, the moment I given first name and last name, the username generation rule, see, first name dot last name automatically taking, these all are coming from this user category. In this user category level, we are going to configure our user account rules in the system as per our client's business requirement. First, preliminarily, before creating the user account, we are going to configure this user category team. In this category level, we are going to maintain all that rules, like what is the username generation rule, whether it is first name dot last name or email ID of the employee or employee number of that employee, password complexity policy or password expiration policy, whatever it is thing, all the user account generation or maintenance rules we are going to configure from user category team. Currently in this system, the default user category level, the rules are defined like that team. Username should be first name dot last name. That's why it has coming up like this. Now I will tell you one more logic here. See, just now I created one user account, trio.test. Now I'm creating the second user account team. That person name is also first name trio, last name test. See, the moment I go to next attribute, see what is the username taken up now? Trio.a.test. What is this team? What is this team? Why the alphabet A inserted in between? Basically, already this combination taken up in the system. Already this combination taken up in the system because trio.test, okay, already taken in the system team. Now, second user account I'm creating with the same. So system generating its own sequence, trio.inserted a.test. Who told that system to do this one without stopping me, taking up its own combination of username? That also will be decided here team. So I will keep my tab like this and I will open one more tab and I will go to this user category configuration screen. So let me come to, okay, security console under tools, security console, and then team. Now I am on the add user account screen and user category default is coming. From where it is coming, here. If you come to that security console team, under users, you have something here called user categories team. Go to user category and under user category, you could able to see many things. See, Abdul Rashid, Akil specification, custom. These are the things you are seeing here. As I told you, for the first time when we are working in the client application team, nothing will be there. Only default one will be. That is a standard Oracle delivered. See, that is non-deletable also. Cross icon is not available. See here. But for rest of the categories, you are able to have cross icon. Means they are customly defined one by the people. That's why that is deletable. But Oracle delivered default one will not be deletable team. I will tell you probably in tomorrow's session when we deep diving into the user categories topic, when we have to create our custom categories, when you are going to have your own or seeded Oracle delivered category. See, if I click on that default, here in this category level, that rules are defined team. We are on the very first details tab here. So here we have the configuration to set up. See, user category default, username generation. I have a couple of combinations available team. See, first name dot last name, email, first letter of the first name and last name, then person number. Currently in this instance, under this default category, username generation rule set up as first name dot last name. Correct. So when I'm creating a new user account in the system under that category, automatically the moment I given first name and last name, username automatically taking up team with the combination of first name dot last name. That is deciding from here. At the category level, if I keep some other option, see if I change to email, the username generation rule, I'm changing to email and I will save and close. Now I will come back and I will try to create a user account team. I will give TrioKUMAR. Okay, now it will come and I'm giving email ID, see TrioKUMAR@gmail.com. Now see, the moment I given the email ID details, I go to next field, automatically email will come as my username. See why? That is coming up from these rules that what we defined. So we have to, before creating the user accounts in the system team, first we have to configure our category. Whatever the category default is there, we have to go there and we have to configure the rules for user account team. What is the username generation rule that your client expecting for their employees in the system? Or when the rule fail, what should happen? Okay, or the password policy, like when the password should expire every 90 days. See, currently every 90 days it was kept here. That's why when I create a user account on 91st day, password expiry queue, then password expiry warning. We have a couple of options here to discuss. This topic I will take up in tomorrow's session. Okay, so this is basically how you are going to create the user account in the system team. Within this, I should also talk about couple of options team. Like as a HR admin, once you come to user account and search for your user account team, when the user account resulted, you have the actions button. So you have again some couple of options to deal with. Something like reset password, you can also perform from here. We have something called lock account. What is this lock account team? Basically, when you creating the user account, the account will be active and locked will be no. But you will be encountering this issue when you are facing practicing also team, the environment which we are going to share. What is that? If you try more than 3 times the wrong password to your user account, that is standard count. We cannot customize anything in the SaaS application team. More than 3 times, if you try with wrong credentials, automatically your account will get locked. When your account gets locked, team, you cannot use your credentials to log in into the application. HR should come to user account and then HR should unlock the account. Currently, it was not locked. It is coming. Manually, if HR want to lock the account also, they can lock. What is that, team? In the month of February, organization decided that due to some miscellaneous things happened, employee got suspended for 1 week. And for that 1 week, they want to hold his access to the application also. They don't want to give access to the application also, team. Then HR can come to the user account, come to actions and click on lock account. Click on lock account. See, now the account is locked, right? Now I will try to sign out from our user and we will try to log in with trio.test team. See now whether it will allow or not, we check it out. See trio.test, sign in. See what it is showing to me. Authentication failed. Why? The same user ID and password I am giving. It is not allowing. That is the reflection team. Like when the account gets locked, user cannot able to log in into the system. So this will happen if you try wrongly more than 3 times the password, automatically system will take the action of locking the account, or HR can manually lock the account as per the business requirement that which they want to stop the employee to access the application team. That can be done from the point that how we have to do, I have shown you right now. Now it is locked. Now employee came back after 1 week and they want to give him back the access. Then come to action, click on unlock account. Now the account is unlocked. Now this user account will be active in the directory. He can able to use his credentials. System will allow to log in. That is lock accounting. Reset password, you can also perform from here, team. If you get into the details, reset password button is here also available. Or else you can also perform from here also, team. The same screen, automatic and manual. Or we have something called delete account. You wrongly created the user account, team. You don't want, I don't want to delete this, some other trio one I will delete. Let's say there is one account here called trio.a.tech team. I wrongly created it. I want to delete it. Come here, click on delete. Permanently, the account will be deleted from the system. It's gone. So you can delete that account if you don't want that team. So we have a couple of options like compare user, copy user options, team. These 2 things I will take up in tomorrow's session. And also the user category I will talk about tomorrow. And here, team, whatever the roles that you want to check out in the system that Oracle delivered, you can come to roles and you can check here, team. I'm telling, right, for every module, Oracle given standard. So if you want to check that, you can check here, team. So the roles will get resulted. All your types of roles, job roles, data roles, duty roles, you can check here. But again, this concept we postpone to discuss, team. When we're talking about the role management in our future sessions, we are going to talk. So in this today's session, I want you people to be clear on the aspects of how to create the user account in the system in order to get access before we starting any setups or the configuration team. So when we go for an implementation team, at least first initially for all of our implementation team, we are going to create our user accounts. We will assign the respective roles in order to get access to all the modules in the system so that we can start configuring the application team. From the point of employee, for every employee, once we hand over the system to the client, when they're hiring the employees, they should be having the user accounts created team. Okay, so that they can have access to the application. Now, just give me 1 second, team. I will go to the question and answers. Okay. So let me go to the question and answers, team. 1 second, let me form the second batch people. They are trying to join. Okay. What is the question from Dhanashekar? Where to get employee records? See, basically, employee records should be, I mean, like in this demo instance, already employees data is available. So that I have searched the employee from the available list of records in the system. But ideally, if employees records has to be there means the configurations has to be done and all the employees should be hired in the application so that you can able to find that employees data there. And then what happens if the username default is not unique, defaulted is not unique? What do you mean by that, Kaushik? What happens if the username defaulted is not unique in a sense? Okay, I mean duplication case like trio.test when we're creating one more time.
Yes, I got the answer. I asked
Yeah.
it soon.
Okay.
You already walked through that.
Okay. And Venkatesh Yadav, on person management, we search like worker, pending worker, and with the help of person number or person management, search the worker with the help of person number or person name, options like name, full name. See, that is different, Venkatesh. Basically, when you are searching from the person management, you can search with either name or person number or email ID or NID. Anything you can search in that particular search column. But that is different concept and this is different concept. And can we assign roles in bulk? Yes, Chetan, we can able to assign that roles in bulk that we can be handling in two ways. One is with the concept of auto provisioning, as I told you. We have something called automatic enrollment of role. When we hiring the employee only, what roles should be eligible to that employee? All the roles can be assigned to the employee when the hiring itself. That way automatic or auto provisioning of roles. Even after hiring the employee also, if you define any automatic rule, the role will auto assign to employees in a bulk at one shot. That we are going to see in the concept of role creation when we defining the system. And other than the manual way of adding roles to a user profile, can you, I think the answer is addressed here already. From an Excel file, if you want, you can do Ravi. Like we have something called HDL and HSDL data loaders. But using that data conversion tools also, you can bulk upload the rules. But without using that, we have a concept called auto provisioning concept. You can define a rule or a condition, run the process, then immediately at one shot, the rules will auto enroll. That will lessen our burden rather than using that data migration template, maintaining the data in that and loading it into the system. We have auto provisioning process available. Create the condition at the role level and then you run the process, run auto provisioning roles. Then automatically the roles will tag it to the employee. And yes, whoever enrolled, you are going to get the access to the videos or to the instance or the materials by today team, because we are consolidating the total admission count. So as of now, we reached 30 plus. So we consolidating and we'll be sharing access to everyone by today team. And yes, Dhanashree, your answer also will be getting today. What are the minimum requirements to hire an employee? So basically, Ashish, in order to hire an employee in the core HR side, we should require organization information and work structure information, like legal employer information, department, business unit, job, location, grade, department. These things to be configured in the system initially so that we can hire the employees in that organizations. So in core HR module, that employee hiring and all we are going to see. Okay. So any questions are part of this topic team? So I am yet to receive some of the information or the contact details from you people, something like Sharana and person joined with iPhone and also, yeah, these two people, I believe. Who is this person? Charana?
Right. I
Uh-huh.
called you yesterday. I'm gonna talk to you later.
Okay, is it Geeta?
Yeah.
Okay, Geeta, fine, no problem. And who is the person joined with the name iPhone? Okay, fine, team. So basically, we are going to conclude our